Hey everybody, it's Mr. C, and I am going to show you how to take your research about the Titanic and who's to blame for it sinking and put it into the slideshow for your final copy. Okay, so let's start with Amplify here. What I asked you to do in class on Monday and Tuesday was to come up with two sources. All right, the first source was from the Amplify library. And the second source was from a web source that you find credible. So this is a .org.uk. Feel pretty good about it. All right. My example here is that Captain Smith was to blame for the sinking of the Titanic. And over here, I pulled a quote. And it's the quote that's pretty bad. Looks pretty bad for Captain Smith. So heavy ice pack, great number of large icebergs. He says that he's got it. And then Captain Smith is saying, "Shut up! I'm busy working Cape Race." So Captain Smith seemed to be warned about the ice and chose to not listen. All right. Now the second section is your explanation, which should be in your own words. And like I said yesterday, your quote that you pull from your reference is really only good as good as the explanation that you give. So I said this section of text shows that the Titanic was aware of heavy ice and essentially ignored the warnings. If you would have listened, you would have avoided disaster. Right. So that's basically going to be, that's the bones of my paragraph, and I'll show you how to put that together. Second website, I found information that basically confirms what the Amplify library says. And it adds on to it a little bit. It says he was going too fast and ignoring several warnings of icebergs. And I said Captain Smith also ignored speed warnings from several ships that were stopped in the ice field. If the ship had slowed down or stopped, it would have saved thousands of lives. So basically, I'm adding on a little bit here and saying if the captain had listened, then the disaster basically would have never happened. A lot of people's lives would be saved. Okay, so what we have in this section, we have the title. Here I have the website, the URL. I have the quote right here, and then I have my own words here and here. Okay. And so I'm going to move over to the slideshow. Okay. So it's 4 slides. Some of you went with 3 sources, and basically all you would have to do is do another one of the body paragraphs, but I'm not requiring it. So all I'm asking for is 2 sources. First thing is argument in a complete sentence. You guys are picking a person or a company or a government to blame for the Titanic disaster. And all I need you to do is say that in a reasonable way. I read a couple that said like the boat sinking. I don't know what you're talking about. You make sure that you say the Titanic. So I'm going to say, I think he's responsible. That's your first slide. Okay. Slides 2 and 3 are basically the same structure. And if you did what I asked you on the Amplify outline, this goes pretty quickly. Okay. And I'm only going to give one example. I'm not going to show you how to do both slides. Okay. So it doesn't really make a difference what you choose to put in slide 2 and slide 3. Totally up to you. All right. So, first of all, this right here is the quote directly from the text. And we're going to start with a framed quote. If you don't know what a framed quote is, over by my door, see that piece of paper that's like moving because of the air purifier? That's where you're going to see the example for the framed quote. Anyway, you always start a framed quote with an introduction. I'm going to go with the boring according to the text, but you pick something that you want to use or works for you. So according to the text, do my quotes, and then I'm just going to copy and paste my, screwed that up. It's going to copy and paste my quote that I pulled from Amplify. I just took it from there, moved it over. All right. Second thing to do a framed quote is you have to share where you got it. This is final wireless transmissions aboard the RMS Titanic. For the Amplify library, I want you to just put the title in parentheses. Okay. And that's it. Put the period at the end of the sentence there. And then I'm just going to add my explanation that I already wrote in Amplify. And boom, there's my paragraph. All right. Perfect framed quote. We know what writing is mine. We know where it came from. And then we have an explanation. That's my own words. And that's how you do both main idea 1 and main idea 2. Okay. So again, if you did the work on Amplify and did what I asked you to do, where you're pulling a quote and then explaining it, this goes like that. Okay. So slide 3, we're going to skip. You just do the same thing, but with the second main idea. I am asking you to insert a related picture. I'm not going to do that on the example because you guys know how to insert pictures into slideshows. It's no problem. Page 4 is the works cited page. It's going to be a little simpler than what you're used to. So it says here, if you use the website, use Google Docs to create a works cited page and insert it here when completed. And to cite your amplified library sources, write the title of each source you use. So my title here is Final Wireless Transmissions aboard the RMS Titanic. All I'm going to do is just move the title over to that. To do the works cited page, you guys have all done this before in your persuasive essay, and I will show you how to do it. So you need to open Google Docs. Okay. Let's put the bell. All right. So in Amplify, you should have your website URL. And again, you only have to do this for websites you pulled information from. Do not, you don't have to do this for Amplify if you find it just the title. So I'm going to copy and paste my website URL there. In Tools, it says Citations. I'm going to move my picture over here. You're going to hit Add Citation Source. It's obviously a website. I'm going to put my URL right there. It brings everything up nicely. I'm just going to hit Add and Insert. It pops it right there. Okay. And then all you're going to do is you're going to copy that and you're going to drop it right into your works cited page. It's a different color. You could switch it if you want. Okay. So let's summarize and then I'll end this here. From the Amplify outline that you guys did, you should have your quote and an explanation for each. You should have the title of the Amplify library information you used and the URL for the website you pulled your extra information off of. Okay. On the slideshow, first slide should be a complete sentence with your argument in it. I think Captain Smith is responsible for the sinking of Titanic. Whatever your argument is, you're going to put it there. Slides 2 and 3, you're taking the information from the Amplify outline and you're creating a paragraph with it. The framed quote example is by the door. I have some little notes that you guys could follow. It's relatively simple. And for the works cited page, you do exactly what I just showed you. You got to open a Google Doc for it, but it's a very quick process as long as you know the website URL. Okay. And when you're done, you should have a really nice, well-organized document that shows your example, or sorry, shows your argument, shows why you're right, has your explanation in it, and has a nice works cited page. All right, thanks.